Hey beer fans, my name's Steve Jaguar. Welcome back to another BeerNative beer review. And in the UK, at least, what's kind of been a topic of conversation throughout lockdown is how different, let's say, supermarkets, right, have latched onto craft beer. It was Morrison's, then Tesco's. Aldi had some interesting new beers and some run-ins with BrewDog, and hopefully we'll review the results of that soon. But today, Lidl started their UK Beer Festival, which is interesting. I don't know how UK it is. It seems like most of the beers that I got were from Scotland, which totally fine with that. Every time you see me review a Scottish beer, I'm super happy because there's a lot of amazing beer coming out of there right now. And a lot of the ones that I picked up this morning actually were from some breweries that I hadn't reviewed and some I wasn't even slightly familiar with. So the one I'm going to review today is what seems at a glance to be incredible value. Let's take a look at it back in the beer fridge. That's a little picture I snapped of it earlier amongst all of its friends, some of which came from Lidl, some did not. If you're not familiar with Lidl, there's two discount supermarkets throughout the UK. One is called Aldi and one is called Lidl. And I'm not going to get into where they all came from. They both came out of Central Europe and have moved over, and they almost have identical offerings. They have this weird middle aisle that just seems to have discount random, like scuba diving flippers next to Wellington boots, next to kids' toys, next to anything you could think of, barber equipment. And it changes every time you go in. And I don't know if that was intentional between these style of supermarkets, but it's hilarious. Because even if you don't need food, it's sometimes fun to go into these places. Just look when the mysterious, weird discount items that will be in the middle aisle. Always put your phone on Do Not Disturb before creating videos. Little extra video tip there for the fans. So they have all these crazy things in the middle aisle. It's like it just makes it very awesome to go. And having a beer festival drew me in, and there was a lot of new material there. So 71 Brewing is the brewery. Let's grab it. I've got it out because I often don't necessarily take the beers out of the fridge early enough. I do have a fridge that I can adjust the temperature and I keep track of it, but when I forget, I feel guilty. I've nailed this one. It's called Luminous Nights. It is actually a take on Luminous Lights, which is a beer that 71 Brewing had. But this is like I think, not the double punk, let's not say that, but the amped up version of it. It's a New England double IPA, 7.4%. Oh, and limited edition series. What does that mean? Does that mean they made it just for a little? It's like a supermarket series? Who knows? I think like it's not part of the core range. Let's just say that. I don't have a lot of information about the hop varieties they mentioned, which is a bit of a shame because I really love kind of getting into those and predicting the accuracy of what it might taste like. But the reason it is good value is because even on the website, if we take a look at it, on their site, if you were to buy this, which does not include shipping, of course, this is going to cost you £2.50. That already seems like a good deal. At Lidl, this was £1.99. And for a double IPA, that seems kind of ridiculous, right? That's even cheaper than the double IPAs that we've been picking up at other supermarkets like Morrison's and Tesco's, etc. So is it worth it or is it just skunk? I don't know. So we're going to open it up and we're going to take a look at it. Now I don't know what's in it. All right, so I'm going to deep breath so I can get ready to give it a little smell. Okay, it's giving me the hallmarks of a double IPA, which is nice. Citra, a bit of rubbery though. Maybe a bit of lemon. The kind of odd rubberiness is a heavy resin that I'm not pleased with the smell immediately. I'm not trying to have an attitude against it because it's a cheap supermarket double IPA. I want to love it. I want to go back there and buy a case of it if it's great at that price. All right, I'm going to grab a little can sip. I know, sacrilege, but too bad, viewers. Deal with it. Odd. All right, I'll save my immediate judgment. I've got my BeerBods glass. If you didn't catch my BeerBods unboxing, which I released just yesterday, check it out. I got some interesting beers in there. I already had a new viewer to the channel pointing out that BeerBods by BeerHawk, and felt I should state that BeerHawk has as, well, let's say, heavy investor ZX, which is owned by AB InBev, which is a huge beer company. So some people don't like that when there's investors that kind of guide and maybe corrupt the influence. There were a few AB InBevs in the box. I didn't point that out, but they're there. But otherwise, I still think the box is a great effort, and I'm not criticizing the BeerBods for that, but correcting that. But I got my BeerBods glass, so let's dump a bit of this in here and see what kind of color we get. I mean, we know what we should expect, right? Because they are saying it's a New England double IPA. So New England IPA, amped up, a few extra hops and malt for a bit of sweetness. It's got that nice hazy color that we love from New England IPAs, so I approve. It's got a little bit of froth on it that's sustaining, so assuming oats, maybe a bit of lactose in there. And I'm getting a bit of smell. Very citrus. Almost like there's an intentional drop of juice. You know, that's a trend into this. The nose still has an unpleasant funniness about it. Okay, so there's a strange bitter in there and a very, very strong lemon rind. So I would say if you're a marmalade fan, you're gonna like this. It goes away pretty fast. It just kind of dances on the tongue a little bit. And let me just go back for more. Very lemon. I feel like this would be better colder. I was obeying the rules of the right temperature for the DIPA. But actually, I think it would be a better beer if it was colder. It's not bad. If you like really resinous pininess, but lemon, just almost like straight up. I want to call out that I would like to guess at certain hops. I'm probably not going to bother doing that. But there are certain ones that are designed specifically to taste like lemon. So yeah. It feels like a straight up resiny IPA. But someone's giving me like a ice and lime or lemon, like if you have a cola and somebody says, do you want ice on a slice? That happens in the UK. And there's a little crushed half lemon and they throw that in. And you get this just slight backdrop of like a fresh lemon, not an artificial lemon flavor. In fact, even a bit of zest from the rind are in here. So it's different. It's not bad. It doesn't have that orangey citrus. It doesn't have that stone fruit. It doesn't have that melon per se. It's like a very distinguished. All right, let's score it up. That's what I think. It's all right. All right, so on packaging, let's get it back onto the camera. It's got some Northern Lights in the background. You can see Northern Lights in Scotland. I don't think I've ever seen them in the UK. It's or England, I should say. Kind of a shame. It's nice, caught my attention. I liked it. I've seen a few others that look like this. So 71 Brewing, I like your art. I'm not necessarily a fan of your logo, but nice work. So, for a double IPA, you're not leaping out at me though. You're not like, you're not too crazy. Maybe a 4 on the art. 5 on the rest. Oh, sorry, 3 on the rest. So 8 on the. I'm showing with it. Does that make sense? 3 and 4 is 7. Start with a 7. Is it unique? A little tiny bit in that. Well, it's obviously a double IPA. It's a New England IPA. I'll give it a 4 on accuracy. It's hitting it. It's a little bit unique, But unique can be not good. When I say unique, I want it to be good. I think I specified that in my video defining what it means. It's not out there, so I might even take it down to a 2 for unique. Even though like the flavor is unique for a double IPA, it's a little bit unique for a New England IPA, but it's not being clear of its intent. So it's allowed to be accidental, which is a bit, I don't necessarily like that. So that'll give me a 6 or up to 13. Do I like it? Is it knocking my socks off? It's filling me with intrigue. I'm trying to guess the hops, but it's not knocking my socks off. I would say it's a 7, which takes me up to an even 20 out of 30, which I think is okay. It's not a whopping great score, but it's not terrible. You know, it's just like a 3.5 out of 5. I think in terms of value, though, which I don't often talk enough about because beers can be really expensive, would I be happy with this? To buy a few of these, I probably would. Yeah, at 7.6. By the way, it's not obvious. The alcohol's not like I don't know that it's a double IPA, except for possibly it amplifies the resinous, and there is this aftertaste of like a rubbery kind of aftertaste, which I think could put a lot of people off. So I would expect if I go to Untappd to enter this, I think there's going to be some, it's like watching a movie that is a bit art house, you know, really polarized reviews. Some people loving it. Some people think it's 3.5. This person thinks it's 2. It's going to be a bit like that, I think. Yeah. I'm going to take one more sip. It's actually quite nice at the beginning. It just has a lingering funniness about it, which is very like acrylic. Yeah, which isn't great. I'm going to drop it to a 6 now. 6 out of 10 for flavor. So that's a 19. Okay. Well, it is what it is, right? There we go. All right. This has been Luminous Nights. Super cheap, $1.99. Lidl's Beer Festival New England Double IPA at 7.4%. If you like learning about these things, please subscribe. I'm going to go through a few more of the new Lidl series, amongst others, as time moves on. If you want to, try before you buy via me, then subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things that YouTube always asks you to do, and that not just does it help you, it helps me, it helps other people who are just searching for Luminous Nights on Google. My video will come up and it will inform them that, hey, here's a really citrusy, lemony, resinous thing that kind of has a weird rubbery aftertaste. I don't think I like the sound of that. Or, I love rubber. Whatever. Everyone wins. All right. Thanks for watching. Keep drinking, or at least trying to drink great beer.